But I do know that he got them because they had been wanting them, and now maybe somebody else brought them through the church. That's how they got started.
So, in the early, we have to give a little history here. In the early days of the church, the adoptions and foster care were done through the Relief Society.
No.
Yeah, in the early days when
Well, they never adopted any kids here before I did.
Well, that may be the case, but that was the vehicle they used.
Oh, I see.
It was through the Relief Society.
Be.
So, okay, so you were working at the cash store.
I was working at the store.
Who's Miles Jensen?
He's the guy who lived in Gunnison.
But how? So he came into the store.
Yeah, he brought stuff to the store.
Okay.
He brought the bread.
He brought bread, and I can't remember what else, but he brought stuff to the store for him to sell, you know.
Yeah.
He would delivered it. And that was his job, but he was also a guy that worked at the church, and he worked for the church, bringing Indian kids in to go to school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
anyway, he came in and he said that he had two little girls.
Yeah.
And they were ready, that they were going to go to school later, and their dad didn't have no place. He wanted them to come to here and stay with somebody. And so anyway, nobody wanted them then. They didn't want two. They wanted one, and that's all.
Hi there, Grandma Julander.
Hello, honey.
It's okay. You guys.
Anyway,
Grandma, we brought you some groceries. I'm gonna go put it in the kitchen.
Anyway, he said he didn't have any place, and I said, "Oh my word, I'll take him." He says, "Well, what you gonna do with your work?" And I said, "Well, I'll quit."
Yeah.
I said, "But I want to adopt him," and he said, "Well, I don't know about that. Whether you can adopt him or not."
Because they're Indians.
Because
right?
being Indians.
He didn't. Howard at first just wanted him in foster care to be taken care of.
Oh, not adopted.
Not adopted.
Oh.
But I said, well, I want to adopt him because I had a little Indian girl once before, and they come and took her.
Yeah.
After I'd had her a long time, got her better.
What's her name?
Huh?
What's the little girl's name?
The little girl that I had before?
Yeah.
Marie Jefferson.
Did you lose contact with her? Like, or is she still alive?
Yes, I lost contact because they took her because I was LDS, and they didn't want somebody LDS taking her.
Oh,
That's what they said. This gal would come with her dad, but her mother didn't want to. She wanted me to keep her.
Oh, okay.
The Catholic priest said something to him about being in an LDS foster care, or being in an LDS home, and so they got all fussed up and came and picked her up.
Oh.
And after I got her better, but they left her on the ditch bank to die.
Yeah.
She was crying when I went, and I said to the people I was with, well, I'll take her home. We'll get her better. She's sick. She's crying. So I did.
Folding chairs.
But can you sit over here?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
anyway.
Right here.
Well, I lost train of thought. But anyway, so I wanted to adopt these. I didn't want them to come take them after I get attached to them and do everything. So I said, well, I would like to talk to their dad. Of course, then Howard came to visit me.
Yeah.
And when he did, your mother got behind me. She was afraid he was going to take her.
She wanted to stay.
She wanted to stay with me. She didn't want to go with him.
But that's after they had been with you for a while, right?
Well, yeah, for a little while.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon, he said, we talked some more, and he said, you know, I've never seen Ethel so happy as she is now.
Yeah.
And she really loves you. And I said, well, I love her. I love them both, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I quit working, and took care of them. And I asked Gore, first I went home and asked Dwayne
Yeah.
about taking two little girls and whether
Yeah.
he could adopt a baby. And he said, sure. So,
He
He
didn't hesitate
agreed.
at all.
no, he agreed with it at all.
Oh.
Right now, he said, you bet. Well, so we took him
Yeah.
and we kept him. He came later and he said, well, I wasn't going to adopt him out, but he says, I can't take him away from you. He said,
Yeah.
and I said, well, see, when we had the adoption, they told him he wouldn't be able to see him anymore or anything. He had no contact with them at all. And I told him, I said, don't you listen to him. You can come anytime you want to and see your girls or
Yeah.
your girls. And I says, you're biological, and I'll tell him. And we talked it over, and he came real often.
Yeah.
He came after he was married to Lucy, and
Yeah.
well, I don't know that he's ever married, but
Probably not.
I don't think so.
So,
But
we're-
they had children together.
Tell them about how they came and dropped off.
Oh, yes. And pretty soon, in a few years, he came, brought Herman, of course, that was his son.
Yeah.
Well, he brought him before, but I mean, he left him this time.
Yeah.
And he got up and left with a note on my door. And he said, he always called me sister.
Yeah.
He says, sister, I'm leaving my boy with you, but I'll be back to get him as soon as I get through working this summer. He went up north to work in a fruit.
Yeah.
And so there I was. I had another child.
So he didn't ask you.
No, he didn't
He
ask
just
me
left
or
a note?
anything, just left a note. And I said to Dwayne, oh my word, Howard left Herman out there all alone outside, and they were sleeping outside, out behind, you know, they
Yeah.
fixed a bed, nobody could see him from the road or
Yeah.
anything. And I said, I worry. I says, I don't want him out there alone. And Dwayne says, well, I don't know what you're going to do. He didn't want to come in the house. So I got my sleeping bag and went out and slept by him.
You slept by Herman?
Yeah, I went out so I wouldn't be alone. I just didn't want him to be alone. Dwayne got a kick out of that.
So after you saw the note, Howard was already gone?
Yes,
Yeah,
But there
just
was
dropped
a
him
kid.
off.
But there was just a kid in the back? behind the
yes,
house in a sleeping
yes,
bag?
yes.
But he was too scared to come in?
Well, he didn't come in, but I seen the note, and so
Yeah.
it was early, and so I went out, and when he woke up, you know, but I said, well, honey, so then I just got so attached to him.
Yeah.
He was a cute boy, good kid.
And-
He had ways that was hard to get used to at first, you know. I had to correct him things about the little things, but not a lot. He was really good.
Yeah.
And but one day he kept coming to the door, and the kids were all playing outside, and there was neighbor kids, and he kept coming to the door, and I was busy getting meals because, you know, it was a lot of work for me to fix and that. And I said, well, Herman, what? He kept saying, Betty, and then when I'd answer him, he'd take off and go where the kids was and run away.
Just
So
for fun?
finally he came, and I says, Herman, you've come to the door and said Betty so many times, and then you take off. What do you want, honey? I said, don't be afraid to talk to me. And he says, well, he's okay. He says, can I call you Mama?
Oh.
I says, you sure can. I says, I'd be so proud to have you call me Mama. But I'll have to tell you, this is funny. So later on, when Howard came back and to get Herman, and we went over to Richfield to the store to get groceries and things, and Dwayne and all of us. And we were sitting in the car, and I said, Dwayne says, are you through now getting groceries and things, or should we go? Because he wanted to come home, you know. And I said, oh, just a minute. Yes, I am, but I wanted to go in to 5 and dime store in it.
Yeah.
And so, of course, all the kids wanted to go in with me. And that made Dwayne have to wait longer, you know. And then, anyway, Howard says, well, I think I'll go in too. So here, him and I and the kids got out and was walking into the store. And Dwayne, it was summer and the window was down, you know, in the car. And Herman said to me, oh, Mom and Daddy, look. Because it was his dad and I was the mama.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Dwayne started laughing. He couldn't help but laugh. He was sitting in the car snickering. I could tell. But I didn't care. I said, didn't bother me one bit. Didn't. I was
So
just
how
proud
long
of
did they
him.
leave Herman that summer?
Huh?
How long did they leave Herman that summer?
That whole summer. And we supported him and took care of him, and which we didn't care. We didn't.
Oh,
It was
no.
hard because we didn't have any extra money, you know, and we couldn't take them out on our income tax for 2 years because they were Indian, because they weren't our relatives and that. In them days, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
So it made it I struggled. So then later I went to work and took nursing and went
Yeah.
nursing, being a nurse.
That's Gary's dad, right?
Yes.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Who?
Gary, Herman had one son.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes, I met him.
Yeah.
He's been around. He came up for the funeral, right?
No, he can't. We had a 1-year thing.
Oh, he was here for Annie Lane's funeral. No. I for sure remember him with his daughter. He was here. He was here for that one.
You know, I can't remember that. I can't remember him being at
He
Elaine's
was here.
funeral.
I remember
He
that.
might have been,
Yeah.
because I know there was some, but I was devastated. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
losing the girls. That's hard
Yeah.
for a mother to lose kids. That's hard. But anyway,
So
well,
who owned the cash store when you worked there? What was his name?
Lorenzo Madsen.
Lorenzo Madsen. Okay. It wasn't Gilbert.
No. Then Gilbert bought it afterwards. Lorenzo sold it. Lorenzo stole it to Lefevre's, and I worked for them for a while until they got started in the store. And then I told them I was quitting because I getting the girls, you know.
Hey, you guys want to go play with? Are there goats back there?
Hmm?
Are there any goats back there?
Yeah, there's goats, but there's a lot of mud out there.
Oh, they're mad?
Mud.
Yes.
No.
It's
Muddy.
watered, it's rained and rained, and there's a lot of mud out there. They're just thinking of mud if they go out there.
How about you boys go play in the canal?
Do you guys want to go to Sunny Shopper?
Wait, that's not
Get some-
shopper?
Yeah.
Grandpa, can you do
Yeah.
what you want?
Do you,
Yeah.
do you remember when?
No, just get your dad's credit card.
Do you remember when Chad
Thank you,
he told
47.
me that canal was really shallow
Yeah.
and that I could walk across it? And
I
then-
did?
No, Chad,
Oh,
because it was me, Jeremy, and Chad.
uh-huh.
He said, "Oh, it's not that deep. You can walk across it." And then I started walking across it, and the water was like up to here.
No, just.
How old were you?
Oh, I don't know. And then I came in, and Grandma was so mad at Chad. So you got married to Grandpa Julander before he went off to World War II.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
how old were you?
16.
Yeah. And
Can
how
you
old
imagine?
was he?
16 years old. He was 19. I was almost 17. I would have been
Yeah.
17 in December. We got married on the 4th of November.
And then were you pregnant when he left?
No. When he went overseas, I was, but not when we got married, no.
No, that's what I was asking. No, I was saying that you got married.
Yes.
He got sent overseas, but you were pregnant and you had Uncle
Yes, Carl, when he was gone.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I was 3 months along, I think, when he left.
yeah,
And I'm sure I was. Because I was just getting really sick of the stomach. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I was not quite that far along
Yeah.
when I got started to get sick. But I went to California to be with him.
yeah.
And then
Vallejo?
I got homesick So I came home.
Yeah.
Then I went back again after the next, quite a few months I worked. Went back again, that's when I got pregnant
Oh.
with Carl. And then
Yeah.
Carl was, we got married in 42,
Yeah.
and Carl was born in 44.
Oh, so
Same year as my brother.
so when you got married, the war had already started.
Oh, yes, yes. He was had to go to the service. That's why I wanted to get married.
So was he
And I
drafted
get-
or he enlisted?
He was drafted.
Oh, I see.
And I didn't want to get married then. I wanted to wait.
Yeah.
And Mom and Daddy kept wanting me to wait to get
There's a
married.
picture of him in his uniform.
And he said he didn't want me to wait. He said I'd be married before he got back.
So he went to Germany?
Yes, he went to France and Germany and England and all. And then went over the Rhine River when they fought going the Rhine River.
So when he came back, did he like to talk about the war that much?
Not a lot, but he talked about it. But not a lot.
Yeah. Was he like in the front lines?
Oh yeah, yeah. He had to be down the trenches.
Yeah.
Yes. Ardell went after him, my brother,
Yeah.
and he tried to catch up with him because he wanted to see him because
Oh,
they're
really?
brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
But Ardell never did get up with him. He was, when they took Germany, why Dwayne was the front line, he went
Yeah.
with them, so.
Yeah. He never
Is it good?
talked to us that much about it. Yeah. I talked to Grandpa a few times about it, but I never knew if he really wanted to talk about it or not. Because it's hard for some people to talk about,
I know some want to. Oh, at times he'd talk, but
Yeah.
not a great lot. We didn't. It was past, and
Yeah. How long was
Getting
he
on.
out there?
well, he was gone from. I can't remember for sure exactly when he left. to
Yeah.
go.
But when he got
I-
home, Uncle Carl was like about how old would you
A
say?
year
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And where were you living?
with my folks.
Oh, just up the street.
Yeah,
Okay.
I moved in with them when they was up at Hillfield.
Yeah.
And, that's where I had Carl was in Ogden.
Yeah.
That's where he was born. And then I stayed with my folks until
Yeah.
Dwayne come home.
Weren't your mom and dad working up there at Hillfield? What were they
They-
doing?
Daddy was a foreman, and Mama worked doing blueprints and things. She was good at it. Yeah.
So when you adopted the girls, did Uncle Carl ever say he wanted them or
Who?
anything? Uncle
Carl.
Carl, like what did he think about having new sisters?
Oh, he was tickled to death because I'll tell you what, I think I did the right thing. I talked to Dr. McCrae, my doctor, because he was worried about me. He adopted 2 girls, and he was just like Mama used to nurse with him all the time.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like a dad in a way, Dr. McCrae was, and he said, "Don't you worry. If you need to discipline them out front, because there'll always be somebody that say something about with people adopted child." And anyway, I think with Carl, I told him when I got the girls, we're going to get the girls. I told him we were going to have 2 little sisters.
Mm.
I said, "But now, honey, you're going to have to help me. You're going to have to help me take care of them. So I want you to be really good to them."
Yeah.
And they got along just really good, I thought. They really did. He looked after them. He'd worried about Ethel. That's why I had to put her back 1 grade.
Yeah.
Because, she wasn't old enough anyway to be in his class.
Yeah.
But Howard said she was.
Yeah.
And so we had her birth date wrong. So anyway, he'd told the teacher, he'd go get her by the hand when they'd say, how they have them sit on a rug and have a little nap and things. And she wouldn't, because she didn't know.
Yeah.
And the teacher would tell her, and talked to her, and a teacher called me to class, and I talked to her and see how they was doing, and she says, well, I have trouble with Ethel because she'll say no, and when I ask her things sometimes, and then when I ask her again something, and when it's the other way, she'll say yes.
Yeah.
She had the no and yes mixed up.
Oh, I see.
So did they speak any English when they came?
Ethel just a little tiny bit, not much. No, Elaine didn't. Elaine just, Ethel had to help me with Elaine
Yeah.
because Elaine she was talk Navajo. But Ethel could talk a little English, and she'd say, I'd tell Ethel, I'd say, because right at first, the first night or two, Elaine she'd whimper, she wanted her dad, and to see him. She was a little lonesome.
Yeah.
And Ethel would go like that, and Pampus, go to sleep. She'd tell her, go to sleep. She'd go, or sleep, she'd say, and she'd say Pampus, she'd call her.
Yeah.
And Ethel helped me with her, and Ethel was just good, but Ethel really, they'd been in a white home before.
Oh, they
For a little
they
while.
Were? I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know
Yeah.
that either.
Yes, because Howard told me this. And Howard said, sister, he said, I had them in a home for a little while, but he says they weren't happy.
Yeah.
And he says all they were doing, they thought, because the government, when they would take them just to go to school, they'd pay them,
Yeah.
Well, see, me, I didn't want no money because
Yeah.
I wanted to adopt them.
Yeah.
So that was the difference. And
Yeah.
they did it just for money, he figured.
Yeah.
And anyway, he said they weren't happy, but he said, I've never seen my girl so happy.
Yeah.
But Elaine, she just learned real quick, and she was,
So did you want more
Yeah.
children because you weren't able to have more children?
I didn't have any more, couldn't have any more.
Oh, I see.
I wanted more children, I
Yeah.
just didn't get that way.
Yeah.
Well, and then I had a tumor I had removed too,
Yeah.
so I couldn't have any more.
So
But
then,
I
like,
wanted
how long did it take for the girls to like,
Huh?
like with Annie Lane and my mom, like
Yeah.
how long was it until they like spoke English and like felt like
Oh,
like
they
everything
were.
was good at school?
We didn't hardly have them very long at all, because Carl talked to him, and then
Yeah.
us, and they just learned real fast.
Yeah.
It wasn't no time.
But you were living where at this time?
Yeah, we were living up in a house where Kevin Moore lives. We owned that home.
Yeah.
That's when we got them.
In
Then
Elsinore?
and
Yeah,
then we
Arizona.
bought this place, so we moved down here.
Yeah.
But we were living down here when we'd moved right after we got them.
Yeah.
Because when Herman come, he was sleeping out here behind the house.
Yeah.
So, when Howard brought him. Howard brought him here several times before, but he
Yeah.
never left him. But he
Oh.
left him that time.
So you never saw Howard when he dropped off Herman. He just left a note in the
Yeah,
key.
I just left a note and said, Sister, I wish I'd have kept the note.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But I've kept a letter or two that he wrote to me.
So about how old were the girls when they came in?
Elaine was 3 and Ethel was 5
Okay.
or 6. But she was, 5. She was younger. They're both young. But boy, they just seemed like, and they both had colds.
Yeah, runny noses.
Oh yes, and my mother went with me up to get them.
So what did Grandma
Up
Barney
to
think about all
Gunnison.
this?
Huh?
What did Grandma Barney think about all this?
Well, she thought it was all right. She says, Betty, or you know what you're doing now?
Yeah.
She talked to me about
Yeah.
it. But she said, I'll help you. And she pitched in and sewed them little clothes, cutest clothes.
Yeah.
Well, I really kept them dressed cute.
Yeah.
And all the kids, they took good.
Yeah.
the kids liked them, and they had good friends. So.
But didn't they kind of have chopped off hair when they came?
Oh yes, yes, and I got them permanent today. But that's all right. I love them. Oh, I still love them. But I wish that I had them
Yeah.
still. But
So
no.
what? How did my mom tell you that she wanted to go on a mission?
Well, she wanted to go on a mission from the time she was really young.
Yeah.
When we went to church and that, and she said she wanted to go on a mission.
Yeah.
And
Look a here.
I don't think I can ever remember when she didn't want to go on a mission.
Yeah.
Elaine never did.
Yeah.
And Carl, he didn't either.
Yeah.
We talked to her about a
Yeah.
mission, but Elaine or Ethel really wanted to. She was a mission.
Was it Bishop Nielsen? Was that?
Niels
Yeah, that-
Nielsen.
Yeah, that was his first missionary he ever called. She used to always tell me that was
Yeah.
the first missionary.
Who's that?
The boys.
Carl and Janine are here.
And Sean and
good.
Janine, here, I'll let them stuff.
Oh, good. Is that still on?
Yeah.
Do you want to turn it off?
I'll just let it keep going.
I guess you do. I don't know.
Hello.
Now we can all talk.
Yeah.
Now we can all tell stories.
Tell stories.
Did he walk in
These
that
are
bar?
great.
Oh, honey, would you move out of that chair, please? I didn't want to move you, but Carl has to sit in it.
I thought we were going outside.
Oh,
Are we? Do we?
no, I didn't know it.
It's a little bit windy, but it's okay. We can
Okay.
go right
Yeah,
there.
could you pull him up so he could just walk to that chair?
Where do we
If
go?
What do you
they
mean? You want me to
moved
drive the
the-
car in here? I don't know what you mean.
No, when
pull
you
the car
pull
right there, right here.
the
Open
car
the
in
door.
the driveway over here,
There's no
so
room in the driveway.
well,
Oh,
they'll
okay,
move
I'll
the
move it, I'll
car.
move it, I'll move it.
They'll
You
move
can't
the
get out
car.
because there's a car behind you.
Okay, go move on. I have to move everyone's car.
He wanted to know if he could drive up to the lawn right here, because we're parked right there.
Well, it won't sink in. no
Bailey's
more.
gonna move the
Not-
cars.
Don't move the cars.
Bailey will
They'll
move the
move
cars.
Okay.
They'll move them. Honey,
Here you go,
I
Chief.
hated to move her
Just put
because
it
he
in the
can't
basin
sit
paper
and
and
get up from any of
That's
the
okay.
other
You
chairs.
know, you're right there.
Do you want me to help you move over
You're
there?
maybe a nose
No, I'm fine.
ahead of everybody else.
Hey, Dad. I want to try this drink.
It's really goated.
I want to get in. I want to get to know my little
Try it, just try it.
grandsons here.
Just try it.
Yeah, let's get to
Do
know
you
him.
know who any of these kids
This
are?
one today, Grandma. This one, Skylar. It's
try
his
it,
birthday
let's
today. He's 15 today.
This is
Skylar is.
Skylar's 15 today.
Skylar's 15.
Oh, Grandma don't have any money either.
Oh, you don't need to give him any money.
He's
Oh,
already
Yes.
really spoiled, so
Yeah,
I don't
he's
need to give him
fine.
My gosh, Grandma.
You know what he wanted
like
for his
to.
birthday? He wanted to be in Richfield for his birthday.
Oh, good.
He didn't either.
Yes, he
Me
did.
too.
If I
He
had
thinks
some
this is
change,
the
I'd
greatest
give
land
it.
on earth.
Hey, you know what we
Maybe
can do?
$10 off.
We can go out in the backyard
Now,
and shoot
this
the
one
goats
is-
with the
That's Nathan.
pellet
That's
gun.
That's Jai's oldest son.
Yes, that's Nathan.
This is
Yes,
Nathan,
yes.
yes.
I love you. Aunt. Come give me a big love.
Okay, hold on. Let me put this down here. Is that okay?
Huh?
I can put that drink there.
Huh?
Yes.
we were coming down here for my birthday.
No, we were we're here for your birthday. There just happened to be a bike race too.
He's all
Yeah, it's been a
butthurt.
while, huh?
I don't know. You
Coming
kids
for a
see, you
race.
don't see you enough.
Yeah.
Michael won't bring you
That's my
to see
fault.
Grandma.
I know it's.
Oh, he's a bad guy, isn't he?
Yeah, huh? He really is.
He's a bad guy.
And this one is Jeanette's.
That one's mine, Ocho.
Yeah, that's Ojo. I
Grandma.
remember him.
Everybody remembers
Try to
Ocho.
drink.
And then
That's mine, Caitlin.
Caitlin,
Yeah.
and I remember Caitlin.
How old are you, Caitlin?
13.
13.
Oh, 13.
Three teenagers.
Just think 3 years older. But can you imagine her being married like
No,
me?
that'd be
Here, why don't you
Bailey's
guys
age.
hand the rest?
Exactly Bailey's age.
Yeah. Who's that?
Bailey, my
Bailey.
oldest.
Yes,
Yeah, let me get
Bailey and Riley.
Yeah.
They're not. Riley's not here.
Well,
No, like the
how
same age
old
as being
is she?
married.
Oh, she's
17.
16. She's 16.
See, she'd be
17.
older.
No, she's 17.
Yeah, she's
Well,
17.
see, I was married by that time. Can you imagine
No.
her being married?
No, no.
No.
Or like
No.
Nathan is 16, right, Nate? Yeah, you're the
Yeah.
same age as Nathan.
But you know,
I haven't had it open
yeah, I'm
yet.
gonna have you
I have-
moved
I
though
have a
when he
cousin in
comes
Idaho
in.
that got married when she
Okay.
was 13.
Cause he can't sit in
13?
any other
Same
chair.
age as
He
her.
can't walk or get up out of them
Dusty, she'd be older than
when he
you.
comes in.
No, younger than
Okay.
Why don't we
you.
park across the street?
She'd be
When
older-
your Uncle Carl comes in, he sits in that chair.
Your door's
if you don't
open.
mind.
Okay.
I think Dusty's sitting
Okay,
there. He's
you
anti-social.
move there. Or sitting on the couch or something.
So,
No,
Grandma, at the end of this, we're
who's
gonna have
that in
a
there?
we're gonna have a quiz and see if you can remember all these kids' names.
Oh, I'll never remember. Well, I might now.
You did pretty good, darn good. You remembered my birthday.
Oh, no,
Yes,
you
I
were
remember
recording.
your birthday, 17th of April.
Yeah.
Did Fletcher? Has he done the handprint thing on your?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you did?
do. I need all the kids.
I think you have all mine except Fletcher.
I don't know
I
if he has
have
mine.
them all. I don't
Yeah,
think
she
so. I
does, I
don't
think.
think I have Jeanette's.
I vividly remember.
Caitlin and them.
I think you have Bailey.